August 30 BC, Alexandria. Inside a barricaded tomb, Queen Cleopatra makes an irreversible decision, as a Roman army waits just outside. How did the most highly educated, powerful woman on earth lose her entire empire? Decades earlier, Ptolemaic Egypt was a center of wealth and culture, but it existed under the constant, suffocating threat of the expanding Roman Republic. Her father, Ptolemy XII, held on to his throne largely by emptying the Egyptian treasury to pay massive bribes to Roman financiers and politicians. Upon his death, Cleopatra inherited a deeply compromised kingdom. The financial obligations placed a target squarely on Egypt, making it highly attractive for Roman expansion. At just 18 years old, Cleopatra is left to rule a fractured nation. A vicious civil war immediately breaks out against her younger brother, Ptolemy XIII, forcing her into exile. She has no domestic military force capable of retaking the capital. Across the Mediterranean, opportunistic Roman generals are actively waiting for an excuse to cross the sea and seize Egypt's grain and gold. Fighting Rome directly with the divided nation would ensure defeat. To secure Egyptian independence, she decides to weaponize Rome's own internal political divisions. She calculates she must pivot her strategy, transforming Egypt from an exposed target into an indispensable military and financial ally to a Roman leader. When Julius Caesar arrives in Alexandria, Cleopatra takes a massive risk, smuggling herself past her brother's guards to access Caesar's quarters directly. These meetings were strict, high-stakes diplomatic negotiations. A highly educated, multilingual Egyptian sovereign sat down across from the most dangerous Roman general alive to cut a deal. They strike a practical, mutually beneficial pact. Caesar supplies the heavily armed Roman infantry Cleopatra needs to restore her throne. In return, she provides the vast agricultural wealth required to finance his ongoing civil wars. The alliance soon produces a son, Caesarion. Cleopatra then travels directly to Rome, establishing a court among the massive stone architecture of the Republic to assert herself as a global power player. Caesar's brutal assassination in 44 BC severs this arrangement. Stripped of her political protector, Cleopatra flees back to Egypt to secure her borders. Her strategy had worked. Fusing Roman military supremacy with Egyptian financial backing proved an unstoppable combination, providing a clear blueprint for her future. With Rome tearing itself apart in yet another civil war, Cleopatra urgently seeks a new military protector to defend her kingdom. She summons Roman commander Mark Antony to Tarsus. Arriving on a golden barge dressed as the goddess Isis, she utilizes grand political theater to dominate the negotiation from the moment he boards. Antony receives the vital funding and logistical supplies necessary for his eastern military campaigns. Cleopatra secures the political and military backing required to aggressively push her kingdom's borders outward. This reaches its peak with the donations of Alexandria. During a massive public ceremony, they declare their children the rulers over vast, newly acquired territories in the east. We see this alliance on their currency. The left of this silver denarius shows Cleopatra's profile, asserting her royal authority. The reverse features Antony. Stamping an Egyptian pharaoh and Roman general on equal footing offended Roman sensibilities, blurring the lines of Roman dominance. Cleopatra had successfully elevated Egypt from a vulnerable client state to the political center of an empire capable of rivaling Rome itself. Over in Rome, Caesar's adopted heir, Octavian, views this joint Eastern Bloc as a direct existential threat to his ambition for sole rule. Octavian faces a very serious political problem. Antony has an extensive military record and is too popular with the public to attack directly. Octavian aims his fire at the queen. He launches a massive propaganda campaign, weaponizing deep-seated Roman xenophobia and misogyny to turn the public entirely against her. He illegally seizes Antony's will from the Temple of Vesta and reads it to the Senate, using it to argue that Antony is a brainwashed slave to an exotic queen intending to move the capital to Alexandria. This smear campaign provides exact legal cover. By declaring war exclusively on Cleopatra, Octavian masks his aggressive grab for absolute power as a patriotic defense of the Republic. At the Battle of Actium, Octavian's professional naval forces trap the combined fleets of Antony and Cleopatra. Facing annihilation from disease and superior numbers, Cleopatra's squadron executes a sharp breakthrough maneuver, piercing the blockade to escape into open sea. Roman historians recorded this as the panicked flight of a cowardly queen. Military logistics point to a calculated tactical withdrawal designed to salvage the Egyptian war chest and preserve the remnants of her navy. The military consequence is catastrophic. Antony abandons his remaining forces to follow her flagship, triggering mass defections from his men over to Octavian's side. The devastating loss at Actium permanently shatters their grand alliance. Egypt is left entirely exposed to Octavian's advancing legions. Octavian arrives in Alexandria. Hearing a false report of Cleopatra's death, Antony takes his own life, leaving the queen completely cornered in her capital. Octavian intends to keep her alive, to parade her in chains as a subjugated trophy during his Roman triumph. In her final, defiant political act, Cleopatra takes her own life. She denies Octavian his ultimate prize, ensuring she dies on her own terms as a sovereign. Her death ends the 300-year Ptolemaic dynasty. Egypt is immediately absorbed into the Roman Empire. The victors write the history. Octavian cements his wartime propaganda into the historical record, ensuring she is remembered largely as a tragic, manipulative seductress. The historical reality shows a formidable architect of empire. Cleopatra utilized statecraft, intellect, and sheer will to hold off the world's greatest superpower for decades.